The future of content creation is much different than most people think. We've seen a huge rush and push towards AI and all that, yet at the same time, I'm already seeing the fatigue and people getting sick of that. And what I'm finding, and I've been noticing this trend for a while now, is a lot of people, the bulk, the majority of people, are getting back to the real, raw, authentic content that's more my style, where I just come on and shoot, or if I'm out going door to door or doing something, I have the camera with me and it's simple. Simplicity is king, and it's going to win in the long run, because more than ever, people are dying for connection, guys. They want to feel like the person that's talking to them in the video is a real person and actually interacting with them. And I think that's one of the top feedback kind of opinions, like if we're going to create a ranking, that I've gotten from people, is they say, man, I really feel as if you're speaking to me. And that has a lot to do with linguistically what I say too. I'm not always saying, oh, hey guys, and speaking in general. I say you, because I am speaking to you, the individual who's watching this video. These videos may get hundreds or thousands of views or millions like my old ones, but at the end of the day, there's one person at a time watching the video, and we will address you as such if that's the message that we want to convey. Now, I understand there's trends and all the bells and whistles and the edits. Look, that stuff I think is always going to be evolving, and there's always going to be the next trend. However, at the end of the day, you guys have to be able to create a content that's, we can say, aligned with your brand, but also down to earth and real. Because a lot of people struggle with content creation because in their mind, I noticed this early on because I dealt with it slightly as well. We feel that we need to present the world this polished or perfect version of us instead of just being who we are. And I think that right there, that kind of dichotomy and that issue forces a lot of people to make mistakes from a content creation standpoint and how they portray themselves. Now it becomes a game of having two different identities, where you have your real identity. It's always the cats, man. You have your real identity, and then you have the persona here. Now, there's nothing wrong with, maybe dressing up nicer and being polished, or, having a little setup for, your videos. There's no problem with that at all. However, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I refer to people pretending to be somebody that they're not, or faking the funk. It's okay to come on and do a raw video like me and make mistakes. You're rarely going to ever see me make mistakes or trip on my words or stuff like that, because I've been doing this for a long time. However, I like this raw version, unedited, unclipped. Why? Because it further proves everything that I've been talking about. But at the same time, it's simple. It's simple. And if it wasn't effective, I wouldn't have been able to start all over and already monetize this channel, which, by the way, huge thank you to all the support. This channel's already monetized. My first one that got 200,000 subscribers by 2020, 25 million views, made me tons of money and all that, had tons of videos with a lot of views. That one took me 2 years or more to get monetized. This one I got monetized in 3-4 months. I can't remember exactly when I opened up this channel, maybe July of this year. And we're still in October, the end of October. We just got monetized like a day or two ago. It's wild. But look at the format, whether it's my reels, whether it's this, it's just a quick little video. I might have a little background image that I talk in front of, but super simple. A one-man operation can do it. You don't need a fancy video editing team or whole social media marketing team. You don't need any of that. I've had moments in my career where I've had the full-time video editor and all that, and I've had moments where I don't. I've had moments where I've had multiple offices in real estate. I've had moments where I don't. I've had a personal assistant and a VA, right? Both full-time assistant, full-time VA. And then I've had moments where I had neither of each, neither of the two. Or sometimes where I've just had a VA, right? So I've had both ends of the spectrum in this stuff. Same thing with the content. I've gone a little bit more and told my editor, hey, edit it a little bit more. I've done everything. And at the end of the day, simplicity always wins, because that's what's going to allow you to be more consistent, and most importantly, get your message across. That's what it's about. We create these platforms, sure, to make money and build a business and all that. Absolutely. There's no denying that. However, it's to show the world you, your brand, your creation. So why are we going about that in an indirect or weird way? Show people who you are. It's not about changing who you are. It's about becoming more of who you are. That's really what it is. I learned that early on in like marketing and branding, and I saw how powerful that was. And I truly believe that my brand and brands like my personal brand, Team BC, and all that really blew up, especially initially, and was able to get so many subscribers and so many views because of that. I was just showing the world more of who I was. That's it. And I amplified that and amplified it and amplified it. And sure, there was things that people didn't like and it wasn't perfect. And sometimes I was rough around the edges. But that's ultimately what people connected with. And you know why I know it was so powerful? Because I noticed the dynamic within it. And I want you to pay close attention to this, because this is a reason that many people fail when it comes to content creation and building their brand. Even the people that didn't like me, or disagreed with me, whatever, on political views or whatever, right? Think of anything, personal stuff. Even the people that didn't like me respected my brand, worked with my brand, joined my team, bought my coaching, consumed the content, shared it, even if they didn't like me. Because they knew, regardless if I liked this dude on a personal level or not, what he's doing, number one, is authentic, but number two, he's good at what he does. I may not like the guy, but his brand of shoes is still legit. I may not like the owner, but hey, that clothing line is still legit. That's what I'm referring to here. But that's only possible if you're really demonstrating to the world who you are. And in real estate specifically, it's missing. Everyone's a carbon copy of each other. I mean, take a look at the internet, y'all. How many people do you see dancing on TikTok for trends or doing the same, home tour style instead of just doing it themselves? Because even within that trendy type of content that I would agree to a degree you should do and get involved in, just like I've done a ton of stuff with Team BC and luxury home tours and all that, we've done that as well, right? I re-uploaded some of them on this channel, I believe, that you can go look at. But within that, I still did it my way. You still saw me and my personality come out. I didn't just look like a generic realtor, ABC realtor, or like everybody else. And ultimately, that's what draws people in, because it allows them to connect with you. The more that people are connected with you and the true essence of your brand, when you really understand what that is, content creation becomes easy because you don't need a big audience. There's a lot of people out there with followings that are really, really small that are very effective at getting clients, building their team, or whatever it is. Because that's what it's about. It's not about going viral or having millions of followers, and that's what people get wrong. Even back in my prime, before any of the censorship or being deplatformed, I still didn't have huge, maybe in the space of like real estate and sales, I had a really, really big platform. But generally speaking, 200,000 subscribers on YouTube back in 2019, 2020, 50, 60,000 on Instagram back then. Sure, it's pretty good, but it's not like, wow, millions and millions and millions. So within that, though, I was able to have a lot of influence, a lot of pull, build up a big business, big coaching business, grow my team. I mean, do all these beautiful things with a decent sized audience and platform, but nothing astronomical. And it was incredible what we did. You can do the same, but this content creation has to be rooted in that. Honesty, transparency, authenticity, realness, down to earth. We need to stop this like newscaster thing where the newscasters, change their voice and their whole persona to be the newscaster, right? Like that was cool back then and we kind of admired it. But nowadays that's lame, because brands are built by people and communities, not corporations. I'll repeat that. They're built by people and communities, not corporations. In this new era, people are investing and believing and backing more personal brands than they are any of the big corporations. If anything, there's been a push against the big corporations, as many of you have seen, because of distrust or false stuff being pushed in the media and things of that nature. So understand that and again, some people might say, well, I understand what you're saying, Bryan, but like I'm shy or I'm hesitant. That's fine. Everybody goes through that process. I did, everybody does. But you gotta create, you gotta put stuff out for you to finally be comfortable enough to really show the world who the real you is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because the fact that you would go on and create reels and videos and content for your brand and your company or whatever it is that you're doing, that in itself is real to people and they're gonna acknowledge it. Like I did a video earlier today on Instagram about, you know what, I was feeling down, just kind of being vulnerable in a sense, but that's real. And I know a lot of people are going to like that video for sure. And it's going to connect with people because I'm sharing something real and not putting on this perfect fake Instagram, YouTube lifestyle. Like, yeah, everything is perfect. Man, that's a bunch of BS. You guys know it. Take a look at the statistics. If you just look at real estate, 3 out of 4 people haven't sold one house this year. Meaning if you put 100 realtors in a room, 75 haven't sold a house. How is it all good and everybody's doing so well and killing it? That's impossible statistically. So grab and understand what I said in this video and really ride this wave. And that's what I'm working on with my students, right? I always encourage you guys, check out my coaching and training on my website and everything that I have to offer. It's all there. I have a free sales quiz you can take too to get on my email list and give you a free little gift. But this is what I'm working on with my closer students and people to really help them, because some of them are just starting their brand because they're doing well in sales and real estate, but now they want to really push social media. Or some of them who are doing social media and focus primarily on that, who are in my program, who really want to take it to the next level. This is one of the topics that we're really diving deep on and I'm helping them with, because understand that we're in a different economy now, and having a personal brand and building it properly can ensure you job security, business, income, and the lifestyle that you want, but you got to do it right. Okay, so I'll sign off with that. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Take a moment to leave the thumbs up. Make sure you have that notification bell activated. I think it's not automatically activated when you subscribe, so make sure you hit that one so you get notified when I post a video. Drop a comment as well for the algorithm, and me and the 2 kitties will see you on the next video. All right, peace.